sushi. Wow. What is this? Oh, chocolate pops. Oh, how cute. They're only like, well, probably 45 cents. Oh, gosh. Are we in heaven? Oh, these are nice. Strawberry bread. Strawberry right here. What is it? What's inside? Oh, strawberry? Oh, they're wine tasting. They have their own wine. Oh, they're all kinds of other foods and stuff. What is it? Pizzas. Toshi, they got pizza and stuff. All kinds of ice cream treats. Toshi, pinch me. Am I awake or dreaming? Ouch. Look at this. Interesting thing. All kinds of stuff. What is this, like cakes to go? Frozen? And water? They have their own water. So we're gonna get this for his mom, this for me, and you're getting this for you. What is it? Some kind of apple pie and some bread.
チョコレート、チョコイチゴのショート一つに、でこのあんまりいちごケーキ。
Wow, this is what you got. Apple pie. Looks really good.
A friend recently wrote saying, 3 weeks ago a friend called saying he was afraid he was going to be fired. I instantly revised his call, hearing his voice bubbling with excitement. He told me how he had been praised for his work, and I felt the thrill of rejoicing with him. Today he came to my office and said the very words I heard in my imagination. And another example Neville gives. This morning while dressing, I was thinking about an ad I was working on which carried the name of a very prominent man in San Francisco. As I ran the ad through my mind, I said to myself, I want to put the word Mr. before his name. I did it and it felt right. I made a mental note to do it when I arrived at the office and promptly dropped the thought. That afternoon, the man called, asking that I insert Mr. before his name, not in the ad, but in a radio commercial where his name was used. From Neville's 1968 lecture, All Things Exist. I remember when a former boyfriend's father had a stroke. They said the bleed was deep in his brain and that he would be a vegetable if he came back, so to let him go. But I couldn't stand at the time to hear my boyfriend cry. So even though it felt totally impossible, I imagined hearing the father telling how he was almost no more and also asking for his favorite fried fish. And I only repeated this a few times, whenever my boyfriend at the time would come to me crying. And the first time I did it, that weekend, the father had a turnaround. The mother was just about to sign papers to take him off life support. The doctors decided to lessen his medicine and he was able to come out of the coma. And then after a month or so of rehabilitation, he was able to go home. And I was invited to his welcome home party. And as I sat there, he talked about how he was almost no more. It wasn't until another month or so later, when he was able to start to eat solid food again. He didn't quite ask for his old-time favorite of fried fish, but he asked for fried chicken. That was the first food he requested. You can take these examples as your own, and you can start even now. Take someone's voice that you know, and hear them saying something that you'd like them to say, and keep playing with it in imagination until you lose yourself, and you feel its joy. It might not happen the first or second time, but continue to play with it until it happens. This could be a great extension to Neville's ladder exercise.
I'm also going to get his brother this because he always gives me nice little souvenirs. About $4 USD. These are Japanese.
카드 비.
I think about $15. Isn't that a nice idea to put the wine on the ice cream?
Neville goes on to say, start now to practice what the Bible calls repentance, which is a radical change of attitude. No matter what it is, if it does not conform to your ideal, change it by subjectively appropriating your goal. Remain faithful to it, and no earthly power can keep you from attaining it. So Neville's saying, whatever you see in your day that you don't like, take even 2 seconds and hear what you would hear if it was the way you want it. And you repeat this until it becomes the way you want, whether it's days, weeks, months, years. I think this is one of the missing ingredients, the persistence part. Until you really start to get this down, if you really want something, keep persisting. So Neville's really emphasizing, always use the opportunities to develop this imaginal muscle. You must use the imagination so you can see the connection of your words coming into being.
Hotomoto bento for lunch and dinner. Koshi, this looks good. What is it? Is it sweet and sour pork? It's Korean? So many choices. I'd like to try the new thing. So yeah, we're totally gonna do the bibimbap, Japanese version. Oh, I did this before? No, I did the 7-Eleven's bibimbap, didn't I?
豚肉プルコギはい一つに
プルコギ弁当1つ。
はいそれからなんだっけああれか
So 4 meals came to $18. 2 lunch, 2 dinner. That's pretty good. A bag of treasures.
Yeah, he also ignored.
Our hotomoto lunch. And we'll have hotomoto dinner later. How was that karaage?
Oh, it was good.
What's this called that you ordered?
野菜炒め
Oh, stir fry. And mine's like Japanese version of bibimbap. Korean dish. We'll put the hot sauce on now. Yes! Yosh! Oh. A wooden spoon. Let's try it, Toshi. I like bibimbap.
I think spicy.
Yeah, I know. I like spicy food. Wow.
美味しいですか
We better try some to make sure. Awesome. Yours are good. For your Easter gift, you chose this apple pie. It's really heavy. You can tell like there's a whole apple in there. Crispy. Let's see if it tastes as good as it looks, which in Japan it often does.
Oh?
But not always. If it tastes as good as it looks, oishiso, right?
Of course, 美味しい
But oishi desu ka? Very good.
Neville says all things are possible to you because you are all imagination, and imagination creates reality. Knowing what you want, imagine you have it. Knowing what you want to be, imagine you are it. Subjectively appropriate your objective hope, and you have assumed a virtue you did not have. Ask no one to help, and do not feel below the water for something to fall back on if imagination doesn't work. Instead, learn to count on your true self, who is Jesus Christ, and never remind you that Jesus is your own wonderful human imagination. That is where all your hope and glory is, nowhere else. If everything really is imagination, then everything would be possible if we can believe and persist. Do you know what you want to have? Do you know what you want to be? Are you willing to dedicate even a little part of your day to your imagination? People talk of the importance of exercising the body or even the mind, but what Neville and similar mystics are teaching is that imagination is the most important to exercise. And when you're ready, you must learn to do it yourself and make no backup plan. One thing that mystics say is that when people often have a backup plan, they plan to fail. They often get what they planned for. Now I know with some things in people's lives, they may not be ready to go all out. So start with what you feel are the smaller things in that case, and you will naturally progress, and the big will cease to be big.
Toshi's mother bought me flowers. How did she know I like flowers?
I
Oh, you
said to her.
In closing, Neville says, start now to look upon the great mystery of creation as the subjective appropriation of your objective hope. Dwell upon my words, put them into practice, and you will experience their fulfillment, for all things exist within you. Neville tells you to dwell on these words, because even though you might hear it and feel you understand it the first time, it often takes repetition. And in between repetition, especially in fertile grounds, the teachings can come even deeper the next time around. And Neville was also big on saying, don't just be a listener, be a doer. Now some people take this a little too extreme and they feel they should no longer read anymore, but they really go hand in hand to continue to dwell upon the words as well as put it into practice. And now as we go into the silence, what would it feel like if all things really existed within us? What would it feel like if the body that you thought you had really existed within your consciousness? How would it feel if the room you're in also existed within your consciousness? And how would it feel if the country you feel you lived in, it also existed within your consciousness? And how would it feel to know that the whole world and beyond all exist within your consciousness? If all exists in your consciousness, what do you want to bring alive through your attention, with your feeling? Imagine it now on the canvas of your mind, and in imagination hear what you would hear if you had what you wanted. And now let us go into the silence. Good.
No, nobody bought me flowers, but I bought the vase waiting for the flowers. And look, they come from your mother of all people. Your 91-year-old mother bought me flowers. Our bento Easter dinner.
Yeah.
I don't know what you ordered to me, but that's not what I ordered. But that's okay. Yours looks good. I might take some more. And here's my dessert. Moto, it's a very good deal. Oh, thank you. But I'm gonna put it in your kare sauce over here. What? We did it. Not bad.
Oh,
Oh, you like it. Oh, let's see this. You have the other half.